So I recently did a live stream with a gal named Diane, and she helps you get through the swirly clouds of chaos when they enter your life. And so when I was chatting with her, a situation came up where I started explaining about how I was reading the paper the other day, the Jackson Hole Daily. This is March 14th, so we're going back sometime. But I read through here, and one of the things that was interesting to me was that I'm just going to read this little excerpt because I think it's very important and it helps relate to my story as well. So it said, pardon me, it's later in the evening, so I need to do one of these to see what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, now I can really see. It says. The Bridger Teton National Forest has fired about 40 employees across western Wyoming. The Caribou Targhee National Forest fired 9 people. The Grand Teton National Park fired 4 people, and Yellowstone fired 7. Those employees were sent letters telling them they had been let go because of poor performance, even though many provided the Jackson Hole Daily with years of positive performance reviews. Alsop condemned that as a gimmick. And here's what they say. It's a sad day when our government would fire some good people or some good employee and say it was based on performance when they all know good and well that's a lie. Okay, so what this brought up for me, I just thought it was important to kind of chat about that. What that brought up for me is that I used to work for a company named Symbol Technologies. It's no longer going, it's defunct. It was purchased by one company and then purchased by another company, and now it's, of course, a brand new company. The Symbol Technology president and SEO, SEO? No, CEO. Hello, Rose. Yeah, again, it's later at night. Anyway, the CEO later, after I had left, took all the money and went and found asylum in Sweden, where he's from. So this is the type of company we're talking about. But I was talking with Diane about this story that I just read in the Jackson Hole Daily, and I said, you know what? I know how those people feel because that happened to me. Yes, it happened to me. Now, this is not something that I go and broadcast all over the place about what happened to me, but Diane and I had this discussion about how I really felt alone. I felt like I was alone in this world. I had a lot of things swirling around me in the chaos of people writing, literally writing wrong information into my review. If you're in the corporate world, you understand what it's like to get a review each year. Have you ever experienced someone ever putting false information into your review? This is what I'm talking about. I worked in tech back in the early 2000s, and I would say I worked with 97% men. And these men were writing my reviews. So you could imagine my surprise when I was doing a really great job, and all of a sudden I get handed this review in writing. I think at that time we were also doing it, tech wise, like I got an email with it. And I read it and I was steaming mad because I thought, this has to be a mistake. Who could write something like this? I don't understand. So the person that I went to immediately that I knew I could trust was my brother. My brother was working as a VP at the time at a bank. And I went to him with all this information. I said, hey, I don't understand what's going on here. Like, what? I've been working for them for over 2 years. I'm in their, department helping their engineers and doing all the marketing and all the stuff. And he just smiled at me and he said, they want you out. And I was like, they want me out, but I didn't do anything wrong, right? So, long story short, we'll just say my brother helped me put together a plan that helped me GTFO out of there, which I was very happy to do because I was actually moving to Connecticut at the time. So I wanted to leave New York so I could go to Connecticut. and really experience life living there, even though that was just for a few years until I sold everything I owned and left for the West, which, of course, this painting is not the West, but it's just mountains in general, which I live in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. So, anywho, I just wanted to explain that part of the story. If it ever comes up when you're watching Diane's video and me talking about this specific incident where I worked at Symbol Technologies, men specifically put false information into my review. This is a very true thing that happened, and I had to battle it out. And it really was ugly. And I was only, I want to say 29 at the time when it was happening. And because of my brother helping me through that, but also recognizing what they were doing, I was very smart about it. You already know I'm a very smart woman. That's why I work for myself now. But anyway, I just wanted to say to all the people out there that were fired because they had gotten what the world thought that they had gotten bad reviews, which was not true. I hear you. I see you. I understand what you went through because it has happened to me. And it is not a nice thing for people to write false things into a corporate review or even say not nice things to you in general. So that's that part of the story. I promised I would post it, and here it is. Not sure what I'm going to name it yet, but as always, I say remember F perfect. Keep it real and stand out by streaming live because it is your authentic edge in the AI age.